So this idea of a separate self comes with the idea of control, decision making, choice, responsibility.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It comes with a level of control.
But truly, it's no control at all. There's no control whatsoever. Nobody outside of life is telling life what to do. There's no controlling life. And if you look in your experience, just in your actual experience, it's so obvious. Hello, Sarah.
Hello, hi.
Great to be with you. And thank you so much for your openness and willingness to share your process with people. It's really helpful. And I appreciate that.
No problem, I'm glad.
And as we are working through with you with all these questions and pointers, for those who are watching this video, the best thing to do is to listen to the question and then to answer it for yourself. So when you hear the question that is interesting for you, you just pause the video and see if you can answer it yourself before Sarah. And then you can listen to Sarah's reply. That's how it works the best, because it's about your experience. Now we can start, and I would like to invite Sarah, invite you to share a little bit about your process, as much as you want.
So I became interested in non-duality through studying nutrition, strangely enough. And there was a person called Z-Dog who was being interviewed by a functional medicine doctor. And I became interested in him. He sounded quite balanced in his perspectives. And he was being interviewed at the time about COVID. So I looked him up, and he had just done some interviews himself with someone called Angelo DeLulio, who is an anaesthetist based in America, who had written a book on awakening. And this word awakening was quite sort of interested me. Didn't really know what it was, but it interested me. And I do have a background in being interested in spirituality. I had an interest in shamanism, in meditation, but that was always a bit of a hobby, a bit of a kind of sideline, something to keep me relaxed. But yet, when I started to get interested in awakening, it became more of an obsession. So now at the moment, it's something that I think about most of my day, and sometimes even dream about. So yeah, I still don't really know exactly what this awakening is, whereas I have much more of an idea of what meditation is, or what shamanism is. But it somehow caught my interest. So I had heard from various places about you and your website, and so I had a look, and you'd posted something about wanting to work with someone. And I thought, yes, I want to do that. That feels really right. And you just posted it a few days earlier before I'd actually accessed the forum of Liberation Unleashed, and I thought, this is my chance. And so I contacted you, and here we are. So I'm really excited to do this work, and I feel at the moment now, self-inquiry is something I need to really drop into. That's something that I haven't really done enough of, and I need to do more. So here I am.
Wow, Great. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay. And in these terms of self, no self, do you have, let's say, intellectual understanding? What is that? It's something new to you?
Yeah, having watched YouTube videos and attended different satsangs online and so on, at the moment my understanding is that no self is the recognition of there not being kind of a permanent personal I. Whereas I've tried to look for this I and haven't really found it. And yet I really feel like I'm a separate self.
Mm-hmm.
Real fear, I think, well, here I am, I'm a separate self. I just feel that way.
Mm-hmm. And are you separate from what? What are you separate from?
That's a good question. I suppose I feel separate from my cup here.
Mm-hmm.
I feel separate from you, from my cat, from other humans, from the chair I'm sitting on, from the computer. As I say all that, I'm aware that language does separate me. I say, yeah, there's a way in which, as I'm talking, I'm realizing I'm labeling things.
Okay, so there is a cup, there is a chair, there is a computer. Where are you? Where are you? Where is the separate self?
Where am I?
If you can take a finger and point to that separate self.
Feels like it would be my separate self is somehow within my body, and if I think I can cut my legs off and still be a separate self up here, and then if somehow I was attached to a machine in my head that maintained my life, I could cut myself off right at the neck. I wouldn't need my heart and my lungs and so on because it could be attached to a machine. So the machine wouldn't be me. It would just be keeping me alive. But the me would somehow be in my head.
So it sounds like it's a very small separate self because it can be inside the head.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not as big as I am.
Okay, and where is your head? In the top part of the head, in the lower part, the sides? Where is that self inside the head?
Can't locate it more than feels like it's looking out of my eyes. I can't really locate it, but in terms of theory, I'm aware that it could be the left brain, the left hemisphere of the brain. But I don't feel that. I just kind of feel that it's looking out both eyes.
Okay, and if you close your eyes, and there is no chair, no cup, no computer, no room, nothing there. What is there with the eyes closed?
There are sensations. I can hear sounds, and I can see kind of sort of black and reddy brown. So as I say, by with all that, there's still a self there in my perception. There's this self that is aware of all these things.
Okay, and with the eyes closed, where is a line between you or the self and not you? Can you locate that line? Locate that line. Where is you and where is not you?
Well, I was thinking then maybe the sensation in my feet isn't me, but the sensations in my head are me. It doesn't feel quite right somehow.
Mhm. So, which sensation in the head is you, or which are you a sensation?
I don't think I'm a sensation because they come and go. I have sensations in my lips, but I'm not my lips.
Uh-huh.
There's some sensations in my head. They're not me. Because they come and go.
Okay, and you can see that there are sensations with all different names and labels, like head, or feet, or face, or back. And they are known. They are known by you.
Yes.
Hmm. So now let's look for this sensation of separateness. Where's the sensation that you would say, okay, this is separateness? Like, this is leg, this is arm, this is separateness.
Where's the sensation that indicates they're separate?
Yes.
Well, I was going to say, I suppose there's no sensation in the cup, but my feet are on the floor and I can kind of feel the floor, and the floor's not me. Yet I can feel the floor. If I touch the cup, I can feel the floor. So the question is, where's the sensation that proves I'm separate?
Right. What informs you that there is something separate?
I suppose it's that the sensations are sort of in and around my body. I can feel my back on the chair, so I can feel the back of the chair. I can't feel the window. So it's an idea, I suppose. It's an idea that I am in my body. But then when I cut my body off, I got to my head, and yet there's sensations all over the body.
There are many different sensations, many different labels.
Mm. Yeah.
And now let's have a look. Is there inside the sensations and outside the sensations?
Sensation that is in my arm, and I can find the sensation. That same sensation is not in my foot. It's hard for me to find the exact boundary of that sensation. And it doesn't, it seems like it seems like it comes up a bit from the body somehow.
Okay, what if there is sensation not in the arm, but that sensation is called the arm? That sensation is not in the arm. The name of that sensation is the arm.
suppose I see arm as something that I look at.
But with the eyes closed, there's nothing to look at. There's just a sensation.
Okay.
And that sensation is called the arm. My arm, my right arm.
I notice that I'm visualizing my arm as I'm experiencing the sensation. So I'm visualizing that there's a sensation at the top of my arm. And there's another one at the wrist. And as I'm feeling the sensations directly, I'm visualizing an arm. Kind of,
yes, it's like there is a recognition of sensation and giving it a label immediately.
Yeah.
So now let's look at this. There are many sensations like feet, legs, there's bum on a chair, back, belly, arms, face, head. And all these sensations together we call the body. Like the word body is a label for all these sensations. So is it body that is feeling sensations?
The way I've learned to look at it is that the sensations are within the body and created by my body.
So what is the body then? What is this body that creates sensations?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, and I've thought about that because there are a lot of microorganisms that aren't human within this body, so they can't be me.
Okay.
I'm not a bacteria. I'm not I'm not a virus. There's lots of even junk viral DNA in my DNA. A lot of genes are switched off. And then each part of the body renews itself over a period of time. So the brain can take years, whereas the lining of the gut can just take days. So there's nothing of this body here now that was there when I was 5 years old. And yet I consider myself, something of me is considers itself still to be around from when I was 5 years old.
But perhaps that is not the body. It's got nothing to do with the body at all.
It doesn't seem to have. No, it doesn't seem to have.
So there is something else going on, not just the body. There is knowing. There's beingness. That doesn't change.
Yes,
it's always on. And the body, or the sensations that we call body, they are always coming and going.
The sensations are always coming and going. Beingness. I can't find it. I can't experience not being.
Right.
I can't say right now I'm gonna not be. See what that's like.
Show me. Like this.
Describe it. It's not possible. I can be aware of being right now. I can sit, and it takes a bit of stillness and a bit of calmness to be aware of being.
Maybe, but not necessarily. Like, are you aware of life right now? There is life going on. There is beingness right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I'm doing, I tend to get involved in doing or thinking. But there's still probably being underneath that. I'm just not noticing it.
Probably.
Probably. I can't guarantee.
It's very interesting.
I can't guarantee it. But right now I know that I'm being. I suppose if someone were to ask me, are you being? Just as I was thinking something important, then I'd probably say yes, I am.
So there is this beingness, there is knowing of existence, of life. And there are all these sensations that we call body. And there is identification with the body, like I am somewhere inside it, or I am somebody that has the body, or I am, behind the eyes looking at it, at life. But as we are looking at these sensations and label body, like, are you inside the sensations? Or the sensations are inside of you?
Yes, that feels much more accurate, that the sensations are inside of me. Yeah, I'm feeling a sensation in my foot. And I decided my foot wasn't me. Somehow it makes much more sense that everything perceived is inside of me, which would mean that the computer is inside of me. And actually, Ilona is inside of me, which kind of is not what I've been taught. It's really at odds with this idea of I.
Okay, well, if the idea what you are is confined in like just this area in the head, then as I said, it's very small.
Yes.
But there is more going on than just the head. There are sounds, there are distant sounds.
Yeah.
There are colors.
There are thoughts, a lot of thoughts.
Yes.
Too many thoughts.
And we call that experience. So there is knowing of experience. There is direct knowing of experience or perceptions. And then there is an idea that I am separate somehow. Or that this I is separate from experience or outside the experience looking at it. But are you outside of experience? Like, is there outside of experience right now?
I can't find outside of experience. And if I did find it, it would become experience. Because I would be experiencing it. So somehow the perspective that I've learned to have is that there's an internal experience in my body and external experiences, but they're not external. I was thinking this diary is an external experience, but actually it's my experience of it is internal. It could actually be blue, but I see it as pink. My cat could see something quite different in it. So everything I experience is internal to me.
So now let's go back to this question of separate self. How do you know that there is a separate self or not?
How do I know that there is a separate? I can't know that there's a separate self or not, because everything experienced is internal to me. And from what I've learned, processed through the brain. So I've just learnt that they're a separate self.
Who told you that?
Who told me that? Yes.
You live your life and suddenly somebody says, oh, you're a separate self. You need to become whole with the life again. It's like, what?
Yeah, who told me that? Yeah, I grew up, I suppose, kind of constantly having these messages that there is a separate self, and it's embedded in language. So there's a kind of, it's a real feeling of there being a separate self. But if I switch the perception to it being that everything I see or experience, feel, hear, is internal to me, although some of it might look external. Then I suddenly think, oh gosh, is that only me? Am I the only one?
What if there is no me at all? There is just only one life. Everything's included. Because now it's like it's internal to me. But what is that me?
Yeah. I've still got an I, and I've just widened it out to include Ilona. And yeah, within my body, there's a lot of life just doing its own thing. I'm not telling my heart to beat. I'm not telling my lungs to function.
So here we are. There is life happening by itself, as all these sensations, as colors, as sounds, as feelings, as thoughts. And it's all happening by itself. There is no manager. There's no command center that tells life what to do, what not to do. And there is nothing separate outside from life. And there is nobody here that owns a little piece of life. But what is self-evident and obvious is that existence is, life is, being is.
I'm definitely being. There's life. I have a thought that there are elements of it that I can control.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Let's hear it. Yes.
I decided
Which one?
to buy this cup, and I wanted a big one so that I can drink a good 700 mils or more of liquid in the morning before breakfast. It's a healthy thing to do. So that's another idea.
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of ideas in that sentence. So that's
Mm-hmm.
I chose this cup.
Mm.
So I'm in control because I chose that cup.
Okay.
But I'm not in control of my heart beating, thankfully, because otherwise I would forget sometimes to tell it to beat. I'm pleased it does its own thing.
All right, let's go back to the cup and tell me, did you decide to want a bigger cup?
Did I decide to want
a bigger cup?
I deliberately chose a large cup, like a tankard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And did you decide that one thing, the bigger cup?
Oh, did I decide that I would want a bigger cup? I chose the bigger cup because I thought I would want it. Did I decide to want it?
Yes. Did you decide to want it?
Well, there was a thought that I would need a bigger cup. I start tracing the thoughts back.
Mm-hmm.
Did I, at some stage, I'm just believing lots of different thoughts to get back to where I started, which was so I became aware that one should drink a certain amount of liquid every day. So I believed that, and then I thought I'm going to get a cup that's large, so I can drink a reasonable amount in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked online, and I went onto Etsy, and I typed in large cup. And it wasn't wasn't all so clear as I'm describing it now. So it wasn't like, here's a thought in terms of the sentence, off I go and do this action.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. So we can say there was a flow of events, flow of discoveries or ideas, and then it ended up in a bigger cup. And the mind came in and said, I decided that. I decided to get a bigger cup. So this idea of a separate self comes with the idea of control, decision making, choice, responsibility.
It does. It does. It comes with a level of control.
But truly, it's no control at all. There's no control whatsoever. Nobody outside of life is telling life what to do. There's no controlling life. And if you look in your experience, just in your actual experience, it's so obvious. And what is actual experience is colors, sounds, sensations, body sensations, taste, smell. That's how we perceive outside world. Right? Have a look. Do you control colors?
No.
Can you choose and make this color now pink?
No.
Did you decide that this color should be blue here?
No, I didn't decide anything about any of the colors that are linked to you. In my mind, I chose the pink diary as opposed to the blue diary.
Okay, but if you hold that pink diary and choose now to make it blue, does that work? Just see it as blue.
I can't do that. I could imagine that, but I can't do it in reality.
Right. So there is a reality, eyes open, colors and shapes are here. The view is filled with colors and shapes. And it's not something that I decided or I chose. I see what is given, what shows up.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, you see it.
That's very clear. That's very clear.
Right. And how about with the sounds then? A sound something that you have like a remote control and secretly, tune up quiet sounds and tune down annoying sounds. Can you do that with the sounds?
I don't control sounds, but I can kind of make some sounds. And I could clap my hands.
Right. So if you clap your hands, can you choose not to make the sound? Clap your hands with no sound. So you can choose.
No, it doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
There's
even the sound of your own voice. Did you choose the sound of your own voice?
No. I live in Scotland, and sometimes I think I have a Scottish accent because everybody around me has Scottish accent. And then occasionally I'll listen to myself. I think that's a strange accent. Where's that coming from? And then I realize it was me. In my mind, I have a broad Scottish accent.
No, you don't.
No,
I know Scottish accent. I lived there for a little bit.
No, it's just not me. No, I didn't choose.
Right.
I didn't.
So there is no secret remote control, and you in charge of the sound making or sound expression.
No.
Okay. All right. And how about the taste? Are you choosing what's going on inside the mouth and put something in? Let's see. Try your tea and see how you control what's happening with the taste buds.
So I can decide when to drink. Then
once it's in the mouth, what's the experience? Are you in control of what is being tasted? Is it pleasant, not pleasant?
It was a bit of a surprise, actually, because I had forgotten how I made my tea with a lot of dried mushrooms, and I'd forgotten that it tasted really mushroomy. So no, I was imagining it would taste very different. So I'm not in control of taste.
And let's say do you like chocolate?
Yes.
And can you put your chocolate in your mouth and tell the taste buds like, oh, this is horrible? And then taste buds register like, we don't like chocolate. Every time you put it in, it's horrible.
No, I can't tell my taste buds what to think. And I can't make chocolate taste like cabbage. Otherwise, I would make cabbage taste like chocolate.
Right.
And I would eat lots of cabbage.
Plan.
Which is healthy. Yeah, great plan. No, I can't control taste.
Okay.
I can decide what I put in my mouth, but I can't control how it tastes. Or I think I can decide what I put in my mouth. I think I can.
Right. And how about the smell? Do you have a control over the intensity of smell, pleasantness of smell? Or just smell what shows up? Like register, perceive what's already here.
Just a form of perception.
Okay, let's go back to the body sensations. Like, are you making the sensations or are you seeing them, perceiving them?
Perceiving them. So if I press my foot down, if I put one foot up and press one foot onto the ground, then there's different sensations in each foot. So I can kind of make the sensations different, but I can't make the sensations particular. I can't decide exactly what sensations there are.
Okay, let's say is your hand or palm in pain? Is it painful right now?
No.
Can you make it hurt? Just for fun. Just make it painful. Can you do it? Without touching it.
Without touching it. So I was going
just like looking at the hand, okay.
Right.
Pain.
I would have to press my other hand into it.
Yeah. But then you feel the sensation of pressing the other hand into it. And you're not in control of that. But if you're just looking at the hand and tell it, hurt, doesn't work. Same like if you have a toothache, you cannot tell it, like, stop hurting.
No.
Right. So this covers the experience, like actual experience. Like there is nobody here to control anything. We were never given a remote control for any of this experience. And this experience is live happening. It's showing up as color, sound, sensations. Now they may be wanting to control experience, but that's only one thing. There is no option to control.
It feels in my mind I can make decisions, not about the precise experience that arises, but whether or not I have that experience. So I decide when I drink. The cup doesn't decide.
Nobody decides.
No.
It's funny. This is a little thing. It's like if you choose now, right or left, choose right or left.
Right.
Okay. Did you choose it?
Yeah. Did I choose right or left? Feels like I did. It feels like
Okay. Now choose left. Okay, choose left.
left.
Okay. Did you choose it?
You suggested I chose it, so that was you. Although I agreed that there was a part of me that chose it.
Okay, the point of this funny thing is that it doesn't matter what choice is made. It doesn't matter what happens. What choice is made. The voice in the head says, I chose this. It doesn't matter what you choose. This, I chose this.
Mm-hmm.
What happens? He comes in and says, I chose this.
I can see how there's I can see how there's a kind of a labeling of I can see how sometimes my body will do things. My body will just move to take a drink or go to the toilet, and then I will say, I decided to drink. I decided. As if there's this controller here somewhere in the brain.
The invisible me with all these, levers and buttons, like in a game.
Like, yes. I'm thinking of the fat controller in Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, that's a nice fantasy, but there is nobody there. Like there is nobody here to have any control over colors or sounds or sensations.
I really see.
It's not given. It's nothing to release. It's nothing to get lost because it was never there.
I really see that there's no control over exactly what is perceived.
And we lost a connection. It looks like Sarah is not coming back. This is a perfect example that we are not in control of what is happening. We are not in control of reality. Things happen. And for those who are watching, I hope you enjoy this and please join in next week for more. And if you need any help, feel free to come to liberationunleashed.com and find the forum. You can register for free and get a guide that he or she will help you to ask some questions where you can investigate yourself into your experience, what's going on. Or if you need my help, you can go to my website, ilona.ciunaite.com, and see what I offer. And we can work together too. And for now, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.